Freedom is a gift from God. It is not in the nature of man to alienate this gift and to voluntarily become a slave. Our government is not listening to our voices. Our government is not heeding our call for self-control, and we will control it. We will replace every incumbent politician and bureaucrat in Washington, D.C. My name is Jim Deakin. I am a candidate for the United States Senate because I am tired of politics as usual. I am tired of politicians saying one thing during the election cycle and doing a completely different thing against our will when we send them to Washington, D.C. It's not just Washington, D.C. It's happening here in our state. City of Phoenix wants to put a 2% food tax. Boo! We're not going to take it. The people in these buildings and our governor want to put an 18% increase in our sales tax. We are not going to take it. You know, one of the biggest problems in Washington, D.C. is the politicians that have been there. They've been there for a long time. Congressman Dingell, for example. He's the sponsor of the health control bill that just passed. Congressman Dingell took over that seat from his father when he passed away. For 76 years. For 76 years, there's been a Dingell hanging on to Congress. I don't know about you, but it's time to wipe Congress clean. We're not going to support anybody that's already in office or has already been in office. There's some great people running against tough incumbents in this race. I'm just one of them. Charles Black is running against Trent Franks. Jeff Smith is running against Flake. There's a bunch of them. Find out who they are. Ask them questions. Give them their support if you agree with them. Go do the same thing to the incumbents. Ask them hard questions and make them answer questions. I am not going to Washington, D.C. to sell any books. I am not going to Washington, D.C. to make any friends. I am going to Washington, D.C. to stop Obama in his tracks. I am going to stop this government until we put a real American in the White House. My name is Jim Deakin. I'm the candidate for the United States Senate that you want to support because I'm a businessman in Arizona, and if I wasn't on this stage, I'd be standing right there holding a sign, and I've done it all over this state, in the snow and Flagstaff, down in Tucson, Sierra Vista, everywhere around the state. I've been in the crowd with you, meeting most of you, and I appreciate you being out here today because we couldn't do this without you. Thank you very much. Jim Deakin, visit my tent. Thank you.
Fellow citizens, thank you for making time today to be here. There is no greater honor in our free republic than standing here with fellow citizens engaged in a time-honored constitutional right to peaceably assemble to redress our grievances with our government. And that is what we are here doing today, and your presence here means so very much. As we take a look at this year, 2010, from overseas have come to see us, and they're asking about this year. And it may be very difficult for them to understand, but this year and our future is all about this document, the Constitution of the United States. There are those who speak of revolution, but I think it's far more accurate to describe what we as awakened Americans and fellow citizens are all about. It is about a restoration of our constitutional republic, understanding what is vitally important. It is not my wish to somehow diminish the conviviality of our gathering, but you must know that I received a call early this morning from Cochise County, and one of our border ranchers, Rob Krentz, was found dead, he and his dog, shot on his ranch. His brother Phil called me with my former colleague Tom Tancredo just as I was pulling up this afternoon. Phil says Rob called him about 10:15 yesterday morning and said, I think there's some illegal aliens back on the property. Rob wasn't heard from again. They sent out a search party of fellow ranchers and found Rob's body and that of his dog about 11 o'clock last night. The Constitution makes it clear, Article 4, Section 4. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government and shall protect each against invasion. What underscores the tragedy of Rob Krentz is the following. He was one of the good guys living on the border as a law-abiding rancher, a third-generation rancher, and it is true, we do not know who perpetrated this attack. We cannot say with certainty, but I thank goodness that Sheriff Larry Deaver and the Cochise County law enforcement gang are hot on the trail of the perpetrator, and we should have a good idea shortly. But even though we do not know with certainty who committed this foul act, we do know our history of what went on down on the Krantz Ranch. 2002, one family member came upon 39 illegals. Those illegals threatened the family member on his own property. In another incident, illegals took one of the newborn calves, clubbed it with a fence post, stole other pieces of fence, and barbecued the newborn calf right on the spot. Rob Krentz estimated over the years that the cost to his family was in excess of $8 million. Our federal government failed Rob Krentz because there are politicians of both parties who view what is going on our borders as a political problem to be managed. Janet Napolitano, you heard the other week what she said, didn't you? She said that the government was withdrawing their funding of the virtual fence. So now we can literally say when it comes to defending our borders, the Obama administration is doing literally nothing. And yet there is another who continues to serve from this state, our senior senator, who not once but twice introduced a bill that has such a lovely poll-tested name, Comprehensive Immigration Reform. You and I know it better by a single word, amnesty. You send me to the United States Senate, I will reintroduce the Enforcement First Act, because our laws must be enforced, our borders must be enforced. No to amnesty. Send me to the United States Senate, and I'll continue to do the work I did during my days in Congress, cutting your taxes, because we know we cannot tax our way to prosperity. Send me to the United States Senate, and I will work to repeal Obamacare, because socialized medicine is the wrong prescription for America. You'll recall we started this some time ago with the acronym TEA. It is obvious that the current gang in Washington, D.C. hasn't got the message. We're taxed enough already. When it comes to Obamacare, we've been tricked enough already. And when it comes to our borders and the real concept that border security is national security, and as we continue to see in the case of Arizonans, quite literally personal security, TEA stands for terrorized enough already. It is time to reclaim our country, time to reclaim our constitutional republic. I'm J.D. Hayworth. I would be honored to serve you in the United States Senate. I ask for your vote in the primary August 24th. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
J.D.